What's up, babe? Ooh, you look great today. Bays, respectfully, your age. Today, I'm going to be busting once and for all the old age myth with some pertinent information that you need to know about getting older and how to continue to have the most optimal lifestyle through having the most optimal health. But before I get into that, I just want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by my new ebook, Happy Weight. Forget the scale, target body fat, eat mindfully, and live at your happy weight. If you are ready to live at your happy weight for the rest of your life, you're going to want to cop that book by clicking the link down in the description box below. Now, let's get into it. So I'm going to give you the solution to avoid old age forever. But first, I want to let you know how this conversation came about. Last week, I was subbing a class, and one of my bays came up to me at the class, super defeated because she did not have enough core strength to complete a lot of the exercises that I was giving to the class. Then she proceeded to ask me if I thought it was because of her age. Now, she is above 60 years old, and she already strength trains 2 to 3 times a week and was baffled by the fact that she could not hold a plank for around 30 seconds. Now, I want to let you know this right now. It is not because of your age that you struggle to do any exercise. This is such a big myth. I hear this all the time. I can't run, jump, squat, get up and down off of the floor because I'm too old to do that. If you don't have any underlying medical conditions or any diagnosed body limitations, it has nothing to do with your age. I'm going to let you know that right now. Now, before I give you the reason that you struggle to do any exercise at any age, let's first break down the word age. Each one of us actually has 2 ages, and I did a video on this sometime this year. I'm going to go ahead and link that above. Please tap into that video after you watch this one because it's going to give you the full information about age. I'm going to give you a brief overview right here, right now, because it's important to today's conversation. When it comes to age, we actually have 2 ages. The first one is, I hope I spelled this right. If I didn't, well, hope you're listening up. The first age we have is chronological. When someone asks you how old you are, you respond with, that's your chronological age. Okay? Chronological age is how long you've been on this earth. The second age is biological. Your second age is biological, which determines how well you're able to function in your everyday life, such as being able to run, jump, get up and down off of the floor, carry your grocery bags or your laundry bags, lift things overhead, such as your suitcase going into the airplane overhead carry. These are all a part of your biological age. So that means you can have 2 people at the age of 50 years old, and one 50-year-old might actually be able to function as a healthy 35-year-old, and the other 50-year-old may be functioning at the age of an 80-year-old, okay? Technically speaking. So your biological age is actually a part of today's solution and conversation when it comes to age. Your biological age is why I say no. It has nothing to do with your chronological age, whether you're able to complete a movement during an exercise or daily function in your life. So then where did this myth even come from about having old age and not being able to complete functional movements or certain exercises? Well, if you think about it, the early settlers in this country has a few generations. There was the silent generation, the baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and now we're on what, Gen Z and Alpha. So I want to emphasize that during the early 1920s, like the silent generation, which is now in their 80s and above, to the baby boomers, which are less than 80 years old but older than 60, like these generations, even some of Generation X, weren't focused on exercise at all. Fitness didn't really explode into mainstream until around the 80s. The 1980s, that was just yesterday. It's really not that far. I was born in the late 80s, okay? So when you think about Jane Fonda or bodybuilding, like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's really the era where fitness started to become mainstream, where everyone else was actually like, maybe I should exercise too. It's not just for these set of people, it's actually for me as well. And so if you think about it, if that didn't take off until the 1980s, any generation before that wasn't focused on fitness. Therefore, they didn't have the ability to keep up with their strength, their muscle mass, their cardio, and a few other things that's really important as a part of your training in order to have a healthy and functional life. Now that we know that, I'm going to give you the solution right now. The solution to be able to do any movement as long as you don't have any diagnosed limitation or any medical conditions that says otherwise is, well, that's not gonna work. The solution is to practice, and practice always equals progress. If you're not doing something multiple times throughout the week, at least over the course of a duration of time throughout the year, that is going to determine how well you're able to complete that function or not. Think about the awesome New York Knicks who just took the championship home. How long do those guys train in the gym just to be able to complete the finals where they're able to take home the championship and play successfully on the court? Okay? They're only able to do that because they were able to make practice, and practice is what equals progress. If I was to go on any NBA floor right now, okay, and try to lay up over Jalen Brunson, it's not going to happen, okay? He's going to smack that ball right out of my hand super fast. In fact, I probably would miss the basket even before he did that, right? Why? Because I don't practice that. I don't practice layups on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, surely not on a yearly basis. And so Jalen Brunson will win every single time we had a basketball game, especially if he didn't have any other limitations. That's what I'm trying to convey to you. It is only because you do not practice a particular movement that you're not able to complete it. And so now that you have the solution, I'm going to give you all of the training that you should actually be practicing so that you can successfully use it in your daily life. Some people mess this up in terms of their training, but I want you to know, as a fitness coach who's been working in the fitness industry for more than 6 years, helping hundreds of women on a weekly basis to reach innumerable results, okay? This is what I've discovered for myself and my clients, is that you need these 6. Okay, this marker is not gonna work, so we're gonna go ahead and get another one because I wanna mix it up a little bit. All you need are these 6 functional movements to be able to complete any exercise or any daily movements, okay? So, number 1 is going to be, you probably already know this because people talk about it a lot. There's tons of videos, especially on YouTube, about this. And if you go to any personal trainer, or if you go to a gym, they're going to talk about this first one. It's strength training. Okay? You absolutely need to strength train. As we age, especially us as women over the age of 30, we start to lose muscle mass rapidly. So that means that we need to strength train. We need resistance as a part of our training in order to maintain and to build muscle mass so that we can continue to do things like hold our body weight, lift bags overhead, put things in the cupboard, or even to just carry our grocery bags, okay? So strength training is one. You guys probably know this one as well because usually these are the 2 main things that people know the most because this is all that was talked about, especially as it comes to training in the gym, okay? The next is going to be cardio, but I'm going to also add into cardio speed because some people think cardio is walking on the treadmill where it's actually brisk walking, sprinting, and running that you want to be able to accomplish even if it's for 30 to 60 seconds. Think about it. There may be a time in your life where you actually need to run off of the treadmill outside. Maybe for the bus, for the train, or God forbid, if there's something that is dangerous in your environment, you should be able to run from the situation and you should be able to use speed, acceleration, and deceleration as a part of your daily function. Therefore, you need to practice. Okay? Cardio. Heart rate needs to go up. Lungs need to require more oxygen. Okay? So that is going to help you with your functional movements. The next one is going to be power training. Power. I want you to think about explosive movements, especially if you're carrying weight. And I mean, the most minimal weight is going to be body weight. You want to be able to have power, okay? Maybe you don't even need to do anything fast. Maybe you want to do something fast. Like if you have grandchildren or just children around you, period, and you need to lift them up, you actually need a little bit of power in order to do that. I mean, you could definitely do those things slowly, but still, you want to understand how to generate power from your own body in order to complete any type of functional movement that you can use in your daily life. One of my favorite things to do as a part of power movement in the gym is going to be ball slams, lifting the ball overhead and slamming it down into the floor. Sometimes you don't even really need to lift it overhead, okay? But I'm talking about being able to get the maximal amount of strength and being able to powerfully slam things down into the ground, or being able to powerfully jump from the ground or from your seat. This is important. Like, you can't skip this. If you want to be able to function healthily throughout all of your life, you absolutely need power as a part of your training. So if you're not doing that now, that's something that I want you to consider. If you need to get a personal trainer, that's something that you want to consider, or a coach, that's something that you want to consider. You can tap into the link in the description down below and do one-on-one Ask Me Anything personal coaching. If you have questions about power, I'll be happy to help you with that through our virtual session. Number 4. Okay, so here we go. Agility. It's so important for the body to stay agile. Okay, you want to be able to move freely, twist, turn with speed. Okay, if you need to, right? You want to be able to not just hold yourself on a pull-up bar or a monkey bar, again, if you're in the park with your kids having fun, but maybe you want to actually be able to swing and twist your body at the same time, that you're able to keep a healthy spine and a healthy torso so that you can stay as agile as possible. Okay, as a part of a conversation of agility, you absolutely cannot skip mobility. Okay, they go together for me synonymously. Okay, mobility is being able to move your limbs through their full range of motion from the joints, right? So we have a lot of major joints and a lot of small joints: shoulders, hips, neck, ankles, wrists. All of these things, we want to make sure that they are healthy and that we can move fluidly through the end range of motion by making sure that we're practicing mobility. So a lot of people that have achiness, stiffness, or you find that even if you're strength training and you're adding muscle mass, you also need to make sure that you're taking care of the joints that's going to be able to carry that additional muscle mass through the end range of motion when it comes to mobility. Okay, so that's being able to swing freely, to move, twist, turn, right? I might move the upper half of my body to the left, and I want my lower body to move to the right. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm staying nice and mobile. My hips should be able to carry me all the way through its end range of motion because I practice mobility. When we don't use it, we lose it. Okay, so that's what's important, is that we have to practice. And here goes the last one. Very simple, y'all. We already here. This is one that we lose very rapidly over the age of 30 as well. And also if we're carrying a lot of body weight, it's going to be stability. Okay, being able to stand on one leg, which I'm doing right now. You can't see, but I have my knee right here. High knee. And look, I can count the time if I need to that I'm able to stand on one leg. But guess what? When we don't practice these things over time, we lose the ability to have stability for a duration of time, especially if we need it. So not only do I want to be able to keep mobility to bend down and tie my shoelace without having stiffness, achiness, and limitations because I didn't practice mobility, right? Bending down to tie my shoes is a daily function. It's one movement that I could do to go down to the ground. But if I couldn't get to the ground for any reason that wasn't an option for me, I should be able to bring my knee up here and tie my shoelace from up here too. I want you to think about all of the ways that your body is able to move. Like, the body was designed to be able to move in multi-direction with strength, with power, with agility, and the core is responsible for our stability for when we're doing things that only requires one arm, one leg, one thing at a time, right? But again, y'all, this is a complete training in the gym or at home or wherever you're at. Strength, cardio or speed, power, agility, mobility, and stability. And if we're not practicing this on a weekly basis, if we don't use it, we lose it. That's just the way that it works, y'all. It's very simple. There's nothing more than that. So there's no such thing as chronological age stopping you from being able to do these things. It's only a biological age, which is how often are you getting to practice these things so that your cells inside of your body, which is a part of your biological age, is able to stay healthy enough to provide you with strength, muscle mass, ability, stability, mobility, the ability to breathe and receive oxygen fast enough so that you can complete these movements. These are all really important nuances that you need to implement into your training if you don't have it already. And just remember that practice is what makes progress. That's it. So if you practice it more, it doesn't matter how old you are, you're able to do these things simply because you've already been doing it on a weekly basis. That's it. That's how it goes. Okay, so you want to make that a habit in your weekly training. And with that, my friends, remember, check out the links down in the description box below if you want more assistance on how to optimize your training so that you can live at your happy weight and an optimal lifestyle. Peace.